Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Greetings to all of you. My name is Asil. I'm with Ascension 1, and here with me, I have Prageet and Julianne with the Stargate Experience.
So,
Welcome,
hey
everyone.
everyone,
The
we
three of
are.
us, we have collaborated before in some
Yes, it
very,
was.
very powerful experiences.
Mm.
And so, Prageet, would you like to share a little bit about our last experience, which was Accelerated Ascension in Costa Rica?
Yes, it was. First of all, it was in the most amazing place, but the energy and the information that came through over those days together was incredible. We had a group, a live group with us there, but hundreds of people around the world, all connecting in energetically. And in fact, just as I'm talking about it, I'm reconnecting to that feeling right now, the energy, because we work in the quantum field, the energy, when you focus on it, brings it right back in again. And so the information that was started in that process is something that we're going to be building on in these days together in Accelerated Ascension II. And much of the groundwork has been done by many of you around the world in your own personal evolution. And what we're going to bring to this now is the next step, not just for you individually, but for the planet as a whole. And there's going to be more that we're going to say about that soon.
We're ready for another leap in consciousness. And Asil, I don't know if you've been noticing this in your work, but with what we've been doing with the Stargate experience in the past just month or so, it has been radically different than it's ever been before. And it's hard to describe how. It's just things are going far deeper, far faster. So this is exciting. And today in this live stream, we're actually going to be bringing you behind the scenes with us. We're going to be receiving the very first channelings about Accelerated Ascension in this new location that we're also going to let you guys know where it's going to be in the world.
So some of you have participated in Accelerated Ascension last year when we did it in Costa Rica, either live or in person. And that was an incredible experience. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. And some of you are entirely new to Accelerated Ascension, or maybe to me, Asil, or the Stargate experience. So what we want to do is we want to share just a little bit about who we are and what we do, and why you may be called and resonating to be part of this work. And I consider myself a trance channel. Basically, I go into a trance state and I connect to higher planes of consciousness and channel celestial energies, specifically angelic, archangelic beings, and a consciousness collective called the Elohim. And it's been quite an incredible journey just doing that and being called to go to places around the world and working with groups from small to very, very large groups, online and in person. The collaboration with Prageet and Julianne was something that we did not expect to come, but somehow it was inevitable for us to, like, there was such a strong magnetism that kept us bringing back. It was just like, okay, it seems like the guides want us to collaborate. And maybe one of you guys want to share a little bit about that.
Go ahead, Jules.
Okay. So what we do with the Stargate is the sacred geometry anchors a higher dimensional consciousness. And this higher dimensional consciousness creates an energy field that brings, like, even a novice can really fast go into deep meditation and also feel subtle energy. So people who usually aren't sensitive to these other things. That's why it's called an interdimensional doorway. That's what makes it a Stargate. Is it literally is a portal to high vibrational energy fields becoming tangible. But the cool thing about the Stargate is it actually responds to the level of consciousness of whoever's around it. So when we work with a seal, I like to say that it's like throwing rocket fuel onto the Stargate field. Like, I'm very accustomed to holding this field. And when we work with a seal, he knows how to blast off into these higher levels of consciousness. And it takes the whole field with him. So this is how we collaborate.
Yeah, it's really quite amazing.
Yeah.
You can see a large Stargate behind me, and Jules has got a smaller version behind her as well. And this sacred geometry is an anchor for this higher dimensional consciousness. And it's incredible the way it responds to each individual differently. So,
yeah. And what's coming to mind right now is at one point somebody said, I just want to keep climbing the stairway of ascension. And Alcazar came through and said, beloved one, with the Stargate, it's not a stairway, it's an escalator. So it's like, this is, I'm just curious if we can actually define, like, what is ascension?
Yeah, so I think personally, we are at a very powerful time of change and transformation in human existence. The way we have been operating this human form as a collective consciousness is changing. The energies on this plane of existence are rising. So if we were to consider that we are evolving beyond who we are today, not knowing exactly to what we're evolving to, but we are evolving as a consciousness, and this is a key moment in our evolution, which the guides call it the ascension process of humanity. And it requires a lot of individual work, but a lot of collective work as well. And so what we do in our work at Ascension 1, as well as what you guys do, is preparing the individuals as well as the collectives, the communities, as well as the ley lines and the land for the increase of these energies, so that we can really hold that increased capacity, that increased charge and electricity, potency of energy that's moving through our plane. Otherwise, I think it's going to be a very challenging ride if we're not ready to receive these intense and arising energies that are coming through.
well, I think the key word there is the collective consciousness. Up until now, it's been a very individual journey. It's been very challenging. People's egos against each other for their own personal gain and benefit. And that's the way we've been taught and trained for lifetimes. So now, both Alcazar and your guides are talking about community, connectedness, oneness. And that's where we're all going. The Stargate has been working for over 30 years on the morphic field of humanity, that unseen energetic connection that we all have, whether we're aware of it or not. And so the work that the three of us are going to be doing together, just focusing the energies of hundreds, if not thousands of people, is going to be impacting the morphic field of humanity in a very beautiful way. And already we can see in the world that more and more people are turning to meditation. More and more people are community focused, wanting to be part of a community. And so that's the direction that we're going to be going in Accelerated Ascension number 2.
Yeah.
So,
and I would say that this is actually one of the big takeaways I took from Accelerated Ascension number 1, is that this is why we're collaborating, Stargate and AOC. We're creating a huge collective energy field that's like this wave. And what a wave does is it lifts you up and it carries you forward faster than you'd be able to go on your own, with a momentum that's generated by the collective. And so that's what we're here to do.
All you have to do is know how to surf, right?
Yeah, you just got to catch that wave.
Catch that wave. Yeah. So we're bringing basically our communities together and our energies together, our guides together, to deliver maybe some of the most potent and powerful transmissions that we have delivered. In that collective experience, something magical happens, really beyond even, just me delivering by myself, like being in that field together when, we have close to 100 people in that room at that time. And this time we even have more space for more people in person. And we had over 2,000 people, I think, online. And it was like the energy field of transformation and potential was mind-blowing. Like the electricity and the charge in the space and the way we were held and lifted. It really took me by surprise how powerful it was. And one thing that I remember that the guide said, the Elohim specifically said, and that really stuck with me, they said the human template, the human body, the human energetic body has so-called ascension templates that were established and put in place for the time of ascension, for the time of humanities or the individual humans up-leveling, basically. And these templates are coming to a place where they can start to activate them on an individualized as well as on a group level. And what happens when these ascension templates are being activated, they talked about that too. It's, a greater awareness, a stronger capacity to receive as well as to transmit. It's a greater alignment to be held, a greater well-being, as well as the experience of being a collective rather than just an individualized human being on their own journey. I think that perception shift delivers a very key component to the ascension process.
And also, humanity is very much part of the earth. And so the work that we've all been doing has also been about aligning our energies to the earth energies and working with the earth energies to dissipate some of the negativity that humanity's been pouring into the earth in the past. And so the location that we've chosen is a very special one.
Are you guys ready for it?
Where are we going to be?
Where are we going to be?
Where are we going to be, Jules?
Drum roll.
Drum roll.
We're going
Here we go.
Glastonbury in the south of England, a very powerful place. Part of the work that the Stargate has recently done was working in England, in London, where there are many ley lines, natural energy lines of the earth. One of those moves down through the Glastonbury area and goes on to Europe. The work that we did in England was a preparation for the work that we're going to be doing in the Glastonbury area. And we are very, very excited to see what's going to be happening. We have a beautiful, beautiful location there for us to share with all those people that are going to come together physically. But also we're going to have 3 days of live stream for all those people around the world to bring their energy and to participate in this vast upliftment of consciousness.
A 3-day transformational intensive with thousands of people online and also for some of you in person. I can guarantee you it's something very, very special. It's very, very, very potent. It's very transformational. Some of the most advanced practitioners in our community still come back to me and say that Accelerated Ascension workshop that we did together is the single most powerful experience they've had in their life. So that's just like, outrageous testimonials. So for some of you who haven't done it or who have done it like very long time ago, it is definitely like still available, and for you to check it out, maybe prepare yourself in, for what is coming, because this program, this Accelerated Ascension program, will be from June 6th till 9th. So there is still a bit of space and time for you to prepare yourself for what is coming.
Another part of the
So-
preparation is actually going to be happening here in Mount Shasta over the Easter period, because we had a big surprise when Alcazar was channeling about what was going to happen in Easter. And he said that Jesus, Sananda, would be there for the 4 days, and that the Essenes will be there for these 4 days. And they are also going to be preparing this energetic towards Accelerated Ascension II, because as many of you know, in the Glastonbury area was the very first Christian church, the Abbey there. In fact, at that time, Alcazar said it wasn't a Christian church, it was a church that held the true energetic of Jesus and the bloodline, and that place there still holds the vibration of the message of Jesus and the Essenes. So we're going to be connecting into that very deeply.
So this is one lineage of mastery that is unbroken. It's unbroken because it still exists in the higher dimensional, the etheric realms. It's been held in the etheric realms. And so the potency of the original actually endeavors and spiritual mission of the Essenes and the Gnostic Christians, that energy is still in Glastonbury. And there's also very special energies known as Avalon in Glastonbury. There's so much mystery. There's so much mythology around that location.
Yeah, King Arthur, Merlin, Excalibur. There's really, it's still to date. I was a couple months ago, I was in Glastonbury, and the energy of mysticism, the energy of magic is in the air. You can just walk through town, and also like the entire region with its stone circles and like the nature itself. There is, it's kind of like the land of fairies. It really is. That's what it feels like to me. That's where the mysteries of the folklore has been born of that ancient time. So I think what we're going to be tapping into being there is not just the energy of that mysticism, but also the energy lines that are present, that are moving through Glastonbury. And what the guides do when they work through us is they utilize the energy of the energy lines in order to lift the field up and the frequency up. So it's going to be super, I think it's going to be super, super powerful and really beautiful too.
So maybe it's time to let the channeling begin, see what the guides have got for us.
Yes. Yeah, and so to everyone that's watching, when we get a hunch or a calling to do a collaboration like this, we don't necessarily exactly know what will come through and what we will be doing. So we have to always check in with the guides. This time around, we thought we will include you in our first check-in with the guides on why Accelerated Ascension and why in Glastonbury this time around. So let's see what comes through.
Beloved ones, we greet thee, 'tis Alcazar. And we invite you simply to relax as we all talk to you, talk with you. For, believe it or not, you have been waiting for this time. You have individually been preparing yourselves. If you are hearing these words, you have been drawn to this moment of now. You have been drawn to the potential of this experience of ascension. So, beloved ones, let us say something about what it is we intend to bring to this gathering. This energetic that will be expanding and supporting thousands of people around your world. Humanity is ancient. You are all ancient beings. You have lived so many lifetimes in so many different bodies, in so many different places. Your science tells you today that you are actually on the verge of the sixth extinction, mass extinction. Humanity is coming very close to destroying the planet. But relax. Understand that you have lived in periods of time that you cannot remember right now. We are not just talking about this recent history. We are talking about many thousands of years of humanity existing here on your earth. Deep, deep, deep within you, you still have connections. You still have influences from that distant past. Many of those influences are holding you back in your evolution. The chains to the ancient past that you cannot even remember need to be cut. Energetics which keep you on a lower vibration, keep you focused purely on your physical reality. Beloveds, you are amazing beings. You are multidimensional beings. But your focus for so many lives has just been on the physical. And because of this, your societies are in the process of collapse. And this collapse can lead to disaster, or this collapse can lead to a whole new elevated way of living together. And if you are hearing these words, you are being drawn to this elevation. And we intend in these days together to bring an energetic to resolve and disconnect you from ancient limitations, allowing you to begin to experience your multidimensional nature. And as this happens, beloved ones, your experience of being human will start to change. You will start to begin to know more of who you truly are. You will start to be able to access other levels of experiencing. You will start to find that you can be far more involved in the creation of what occurs in your life. So, beloveds, we invite you into this process. And now we are going to say a little more through this one Julianne.
And so, beloved ones, feel the energetics that are streaming through the ethers right now. You are being called. Those of you who are exploring consciousness, you are being called to go further than you have ever been before in any of your incarnations on this your earth. And we have spoken through this one Pragit about the limiting factors of being dialed in, attuned, forgetting who you truly are, and focusing exclusively on this materiality of your third dimension. We wish now to speak of your even more distant past. Because, beloveds, this Isle of Avalon that you now call Glastonbury, this locale on your earth, indeed carries unbroken lineages of mastery. There are layer upon layer of ethereal beings and societies, communities that are there. What is important about this is that they are there as a reminder of your own mastery. For you have lived before on your very ancient earth. So many of you have been incarnating since your times of Lemuria and your times of Atlantis. And we would suggest that after the fall of your Atlantean civilization, which happened so abruptly. Not all were wiped. There were survivors. And we would suggest that some of these human beings who survived the fall of Atlantis actually went out to seed civilization, to hold the remembrance of the mastery of that time. And we would suggest that this Isle of Avalon, that is so enshrouded in mystery, carries this energetic potency because of the living mastery that was carried forth there. The teachings of how to heal the physical body with the waters, and so many other teachings that bridged your third dimensional reality with the ethers, with the higher dimensions, with your true empowerment. And so, beloved ones, we speak directly to the hearts and the minds of those of you who resonate with these myths of old, who can somehow pierce the mystery and feel that you were a part somehow of these ancient lineages, because part of the healing, the breaking of the chains of the limitations of the past, is the realization of the grandeur of your beingness, the mastery you have lived before you fell into unconsciousness and forgot who you were. And so this is an invitation to reclaim, to dust off the more recent past, and to reclaim some of the energetic templates of your more distant mastery here on earth.
Greetings. We are Elohim. You as individuals have collaborated. You as individuals have lived unique lives of your own, consistently learning, consistently evolving, and desiring to evolve. And today you have arrived at the place, the person, the identity, and the current soul in development that you are. And through all of your individual developments and evolutionary processes, society and humanity as a collective has come to become who it is today. And as the rising of energies accelerates, your evolutionary process will accelerate as well. And the evolution of your consciousness, the evolution, the consistent growth, the consistent realization of who you are as a consciousness in the grand construct of all forms of consciousness, in the grand construct of all of existence. How does human consciousness relate to itself and to all others? It is time for humanity to go through this significant ascension process, as many other forms of consciousness have gone before. It is time for humanity to understand that its evolution, its change of form, its change of perception is a critical element of becoming a new form of existence. You have prepared yourselves to learn who you are. You have prepared yourselves to receive, to understand, to explore, to evolve, and to transmit. You have learned and you have challenged yourself to become vessels of the divine, an ever-evolving human being, a representative of the human consciousness collective. The conscious creator. The ascension process of humanity starts with you. Starts with the activation of all that you are. Starts with the purification of all the many layers accumulated through many lifetimes and many generations, through the many lineages that you have collected, unprocessed past with you. To shedding the many layers of belief, the many layers of trauma, the many layers of conditioning, the many layers of mental and emotional constructs, the pains of the past and the fears of the future are ready to be dismantled, so you can emerge as the master of your life, as the master of your reality. The conscious evolving, the conscious creating individual in human form, the collective that you are represented in this unique and beautiful experience. Thank you for listening to our words.
Well, it seems really clear to me from what we've just heard is that there's so much that we're totally unaware of that's holding us back as individuals and as humanity. And that, as the Elohim was saying, the layers upon layers of conditioning, limitations. And what Alcazar was saying earlier about cutting the chains to the ancient past so that we can be free in a level of freedom that we haven't experienced for a very, very long time. How that's going to happen? We can say that from our past experience, it happens simply and easily, simply by our intention to be present and focused with the energies that are brought through, the various guides that are invited in, the various energies that come from many different realms to support us individually, and more importantly, as a humanity. Because that's the direction that we have to move in. That's why community is so important. That's why working together is so important. That's why it's not all about me, and mine. It's about what we're doing together, what we're creating together, what we're sharing together. Exciting.
Yeah. I see this as a clearing out of debris. And in healing healing our past, really, to heal means to become whole. And so like a theme that I see with what Alcazar is talking about is the suffering and the unresolved from the past. A lot of it has to, not all of it, but a lot of it has to do with us cutting our connection to the higher realms, thinking we're just physical beings, forgetting who we are. And so as we literally burst through into higher levels of consciousness, first of all of these misunderstandings or unresolved things from our past can start to be cleared through our awareness. But also that connection itself starts to restore a felt sense of the beauty and the mastery that we contain within us.
I'm still feeling the energy so strongly. It's very clear to me that we are in for a treat. And it is definitely about us individually evolving and us individually being supported and shedding the layers. But also, when we do it as a collaborative community, as a collective of individuals coming together, it's like we're doing it on behalf of humanity. It's like in a fractal, we do something that impacts all of humanity. And yes, that's also to be true with the individual. Yes, when I do some work on myself, I impact humanity as well. But imagine thousands of people coming together, synchronizing on a frequency, meditating together and shedding those layers and increasing their frequency. Undoubtedly, it's going to impact the human consciousness field. Undoubtedly, we're going to be able to get into states that alone we'd be having a hard time getting into.
Yes. And when we pierce through into those, one of the things that Alcazar said to Prageet and I last night when we were working on the registration page is moving beyond the leading edge of consciousness. So when we're piercing through, as we rise as a collective and suddenly these states of consciousness become available to us and we just are there, we're actually making that accessible to the collective. It's like we're creating a pathway. It's like the 4-minute mile. They used to think that it was impossible to run a mile under 4 minutes. And then as soon as one person did it, then suddenly thousands of people have, and high schoolers have, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got goosebumps right now. I just want to say something we're going to be working on the time frame in England. So there's going to be people around the world that are going to be fast asleep or working in those times. And as many of you know, being part of this with the recording is just as powerful as being present in the room. So we encourage you, if these words are touching you, we encourage you to join us, because the work that we all do together is in the quantum field. Therefore, whatever, whenever, and wherever you connect into that, you connect into this vast energetic that we're creating together. Most of our audience around the world listens to the recordings because of their personal schedule. And we have had hundreds and hundreds of people writing in to say how powerful the recordings are. It's just like being there. And when people listen to the recordings and bring their energy into that moment of now, we who are gathering in the physical feel that energy coming into the space, even though it's from the so-called future. The quantum field is something that we are all being introduced into, because from that place, you can alter your reality. From the quantum field, change happens extremely quickly with your intention and your clarity. So we are going to support everyone, and the guides are going to support everyone in becoming clearer and focusing your intention into ascension. beyond the leading edge of awakening.
Mhm.
Are you ready for that? Are you ready for that to just appear? Because it's not something that you like work for. You just show up for it.
Mhm.
Effortless.
You show up and you let the wave carry you.
Yeah. As Alcazar so often says, there's nothing to do. It's not about doing. It's about relaxing, intending, allowing.
And I have to say, even being able to be present for an event like this, for a collective experience like that, is something to be acknowledged, is something that we honor, and it shows devotion. It shows that the part of you is ready to be part of something big for you and for humanity. So it's dual purpose in that sense, but it's serving all of us anyways. So it's one purpose ultimately. So duality becomes, non-duality. In that sense, we are in for a treat because we are allowing ourselves to receive. And it's the same thing for us too. Like, we are going in not really knowing what is going to be delivered, and we are receiving in the process of delivering. So we are in the same boat as you are. At least I'll speak for myself. Like, totally,
Yeah.
like
100%.
100%, right? So we are in it. We're just watching the show unfold as it does. So and you'll see the link here that's now, put onto your screen, stargate.live/AA. It's not for Alcoholic Anonymous. It is definitely for Accelerated Ascension. And stargate.live/AA will lead you to a landing page where you'll see all the details. And there is two options. Do you want to talk about those two options, Julianne?
You can join us in person in a amazing workshop venue near Glastonbury in the UK, or you can join us on the live stream.
And joining us in person, we can probably have up to 250, 300 people in the room. Is that true?
Yeah.
I mean, that's gonna be phenomenal, right? Just in itself. If you can make it happen somehow, I would, wholeheartedly invite you in to join us in person. Obviously, for some of you, that's not going to be possible, and you will equally be impacted powerfully and held with incredible amount of love and presence through the live streams as well as through the recorded streams, because to me, it literally has no difference. It's like the same thing. But those two options are available for you, and we'd love to see you there.
Yeah, and we have a really special venue. I just have to say, like, if you look at the photos, you can start to get a sense of the energy of the place. It's just really beautiful. It's got gardens, and there's glamping, and there are like different accommodation options on site to like be with us there. So if you feel drawn to be there in person, go sign up and make sure you book your accommodation soon. Sweet. It's actually kind of cute because when we were working on the registration page last night, my mom was like booking her flights. Like, she's gonna come and join us too. So.
Oh, yay! I'm gonna meet your mom finally.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Well, it is also to be said that this event is open for all levels, meaning even if you're a beginner, even if you're new to this type of work, it is an all levels event. If you're an advanced practitioner, I can guarantee you the field will adjust to your level of presence and to your level of practice. If you're a beginner, if you're a newbie, it will also adjust accordingly to where you are in that moment. So we're opening it up for everyone.
That's the beauty of working with all these incredible guides. Every individual is worked with, and energies come to you exactly as you need them in the moment. It's not just a mass energetic. It's very specific to each individual within that incredible energetic field. So yes, indeed. If you're hearing these words, your guides have brought you here to this moment, to these words, to this invitation. So, are you going to listen to them? So thank you everyone for being with us. And thank you for all those people that in the background who work to make all these different presentations possible. Because there's a great large team of people around the world supporting what's happening here. And we thank you all. And we're really honored to be working with you all.
Yeah, I have to say I'm incredibly excited for this. Immediately as we were finished delivering Accelerated Ascension in Costa Rica, people were asking, when is the next one and where is it going to be? I said, we don't know, but we will know soon. Well, here it is. Accelerated Ascension Part 2 is happening in Glastonbury in the UK, and we're really looking forward to seeing it there in person or on a live stream.
Okay.
All right.
So,
thank you, Prageet. Thank you, Julian. You guys are amazing. And thank you to the incredible team behind the scenes doing all the work.
Yeah. And a huge thank you to this incredible community. Like, it really is a sheer delight to show up and see the levels of consciousness that open within myself. Like, it's incredible. And so we love collaborating with you, Asil. So excited for this one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, the honor is mine. Well, blessings until the next time. We will have more, I think, more calls, and we'll start sharing some of the clips and bits and pieces from the previous Accelerated Ascension to get you all juiced up and excited.
Yeah. Okay. We love you.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.